Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's live episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha. Excited to be joined by these two wonderful gentlemen to have some fun talking about everything that's gone on in the world of professional wrestling. And oh boy, did we have a lot going on in the world of professional wrestling today. Let's introduce the two other gentlemen here. To my left, the man from Orlando, the man with me, been with me since the beginning of this show. Aaron Turner, how are you?
We're podcasters. We're doing a podcast. So let's podcast.
There you go. Well said, Aaron Turner. And the man who's joined our crew and given us new life. And we're excited to be going to the next level here. Chris Burns, how are you, Chris?
I'm feeling fantastic. You know what I mean? The biggest news of the week had nothing to do with pro wrestling. It's that Captain America fuck. Never mind. We'll talk about that another time.
For sure. America's ass has gotten some. That's for damn sure. Let's put that on the table. Man, this is not a She-Hulk show, though, but this is a pro wrestling show. We're going to have some fun talking about AEW, WWE. Some big news has been happening this week. Kenny Omega returning. We got CM Punk and Moxley going at it with each other. Roman Reigns and McIntyre is heating up, heading into Clash of the Castle on September 3rd. Shotzi, one of Aaron's favorites. We'll see what happens. But one of Aaron's other favorites, Mandy Rose, getting a victory over ZOEY STARK. So there's so much to cover here. And remember, the Streamlabs and SuperChats are open. And hey, it's a Saturday. Let's get frisky. Send in some questions. Send in some comments. Give us some support. You love us coming to you live every week. Show some support. And don't forget, we are on our own separate podcast feed. So look for those episodes to be popping up. Last week, there were some issues going on. I don't know why our episode didn't go up, but this episode will be up later today in case you want to re-listen to any of it. But subscribe to it wherever you download podcasts. It's moving off the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network in September, so it will be its own feed to make its own money. It's do its own thing, so support us by subscribing there. And I'm going to put the Streamlabs address in the chat, but you see it right above Aaron's head to send in your support today. Aaron, where shall we effing start today?
Well, let's just start with Monday Night Raw. We'll just start there, run it down, and we'll talk about it. The Judgment Day beat down the Mysterios again, and Rhea Ripley DDT'd Ray on a chair. We got woman on man violence. I like it. Alexa Bliss and Asuka defeated Doudrop and Nikki ASH by submission to move on in the Women's Tag Team Championship tournament. The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa defeated the new team of Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. No way to bring in a new team, then beat him. Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens battle on the mic, and then they wrestle, and then Drew McIntyre got the win via DQ. Veer Mahan tapped out a jobber or local talent with a cervical clutch. Was that the Fiend backstage? Anyway, moving on. Lashley defeated AJ Styles to retain the U.S. title with some help from The Miz that he didn't need, but he took it. Dakota Kai defeated Dana Brooke. And to clear the show, Theory defeated Dolph Ziggler. So that is Monday Night Raw for you.
Chris, what do you think about Monday Night Raw? How'd you feel about it? This is what, the third Monday Night Raw now under Triple H's regime. What are you feeling he's walking out of this one?
Much the same. Like nothing. Again, it's in the absence of absurdity and ridiculousness and booking that literally takes you out of the storytelling where you're like, what, why would that happen? And then just the action has just been good. They're letting the guys have enough time to show like, oh no, there's a reason that everyone here is in the WWE.
Yeah.
Like you give them enough time, they can get the crowd into what they're doing.
Right.
And there's not too many matches that happen nowadays where nobody cares, nobody's interested, nobody, bathroom breaks all around. So, it's, again, they're just conditioning us as an audience to see this shift as the norm. Like, oh, a lot of wrestling's clean finishes. The only time there's screwiness is when they're building to something else.
Yeah.
And it feels good. It's just a big shot in the arm.
Yeah.
Specifically, I think we need to kind of press the fast forward button on this Judgment Day story a little bit. It's just okay. You know what I mean? Like, so what are we doing? What are we doing? Because right now the Mysterios are starting to look really bad. And, is Edge, on the level, or is he not? Like, let's get there. Let's get there. It's time to give a climactic moment. And hopefully it's not Dominic because it's still a family show. Did you guys notice this week that all Triple H purposely made all the tag teams dress alike?
No.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, like even when Nikki and Doudrop came out, they both had the leather jackets on, and they mentioned that she gave her the leather jacket as a gift.
Yeah.
Then you saw the Miz and Ciampa were wearing the same colors,
Matching gear, sure.
Yeah.
and it's like, see, it's exactly what I'm talking about. Subtle things that in the back of your mind make a big difference. Where it's like, oh, tag teams, you know what I mean? Not Frankenstein teams of people who aren't, necessarily connected. And dude, as much as I hated it when it started, Miz and Ciampa work.
Yeah.
They
Who would have thought?
work together. And like Ciampa giving him the side eye while he's cutting promos, you know what I mean? Now that he's sort of on the rise, and it really, really works. John, you sent us that article about where the Miz is the current Brooklyn Brawler.
I was bringing that up. Yeah, Nick Bond, fantastic article on The Ringer talking about Miz and how he has just been a go-to guy. And it's something we've mentioned on the show, that he's a go-to guy who is able to make just about any angle work, and new people coming in, celebrities coming in. Miz is the guy that helps them. But you look at Miz's record, and it's a pretty terrible win-loss record in a majority of years, even though he's been a multi-time champion. And he's like the next version of the Brooklyn Brawler who's helped get people over by jobbing to them. But you never feel like Miz is jobbing because he's such a good wrestler in the ring.
And the guy, I mean, I think the key difference is that, Miz is over and that Miz gets to cut promos and actually like have stories with people. Yeah, he loses a shit ton. But the Brawler is just kind of like you threw him out there and like, here comes Earthquake to fucking squash this dude or whatever. So key difference there, but I get what Nick is saying. Could it be possible, speaking of squash matches, that Triple H is heading towards a Braun Strowman return?
Oh no!
Because if you look at it, he's giving the spotlight and 15, 20-minute matches to his NXT guys and to the more work-oriented guys on the roster. But then recently we've had an Omos squash. We've had a Veer Mahan squash. And so you would think that, oh God, is a collision course getting ready to happen between those two guys? And that'd be just an absolute terrible match. Yeah. But you add Strowman into the mix, who is a Triple H guy, like then the spectacle becomes a different thing where it's like, look at these three, two gargantuans, one thing. Three, it becomes something else entirely, which I'm not even saying I'll be opposed to watching, but it seems like we might be going in that direction. And then, dear God, how we've never seen AJ Styles versus Lashley before.
Yeah, that was good.
Seems insane, considering how long they've both been in it and in the same company several times. That was an outstanding match. Really should have been the main event. Theory and Ziggler, while the work was decent, it was like it seemed like that's the kind of match you put on a main event if you have a big surprise coming. Yeah. That's going to even out the lack of star power, but it just ended. Theory wins, it takes the selfie, and that was it. And I was like sitting there like I was waiting for a post-credit scene in an MCU movie. Like, oh, here comes somebody. You know what I mean? Something's going to happen. Right. Because even when did the Dexter Lumis thing happen? That happened during the AJ match?
Yeah. Last week,
this week when they were
this week,
So it's like that didn't even happen in the main event this year. So I mean this episode. So weird way to end it. Just a couple strange things, but all in all, solid episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid episode as well. The Judgment Day stuff, I agree with you. Let's fast forward because it hasn't been working since Edge left. It really hasn't. I don't care what anybody says. It really hasn't. So they've done their best, but some of the parts, there was a reason that they were all put in there. because WWE at the time felt like neither one of them was really getting over. They were losing their luster, sometimes because of the booking, sometimes because of the matches they were putting on. So Edge was great to bring them all together because Edge had the momentum, but then Edge got hurt. Now he's back. So you got to press fast forward on this. And I agree with you. You got to figure out what you're doing with Dom and Rhea. Is the turn happening, not happening? What's the situation there? Let's go. Let's get on this as quickly as possible. As far as Miz and Ciampa, I agree with you. Once again, referencing that article, great stuff. Miz and Ciampa are awesome. Again, Alexa Bliss and Asuka, that's going to take me a long time to get used to them. I mean, they're like Ziggler and Rude. I don't really see them necessarily as a tag team. And even though they work well to a degree, they're just so separate alphas. It just does. I'm just not buying it on so many levels. And the crowd was kind of half in, half out on that match. So I'm not sure how to feel about that. Love the McIntyre pro. I mean, him yelling at Owens about like what he's been through, what he's done. And you're going to question my credibility, my desire to be in this ring, my status in this business. Fuck you. You know, I love that he went back at him as strongly as he did. And this is another smaller part of the change you've seen that you're talking about, Chris, not just the tag team stuff, but also these promos are starting to get a little real. They're starting to get more consistently a little real, coming close to the line or cross that line for a little bit, then heading back over the line. I like that. It adds that extra element. Trust me, that's the most important thing in wrestling. When there's real shit going on, just throw it out there and let them play with it. And the great ones will understand how to cross that line at what moment and then sneak back over so the audience gets like, oh shit, was that real? Oh shit. You know, they love to get caught up in it. And it's awesome. So I love to see that. And yeah, good win for him. The Veer stuff is another thing I think we got to press fast forward on. Let's go. Put him into some fucking program already. I'm tired of the squash matches. I'm tired of him destroying the Mysterios. Let's put him in with some. Are you afraid to use him? Is there nobody you can put him in a program with, for God's sakes? Let's build him up, because squashing, we're done with that. We know what he can fucking do. Let's go and put him in with somebody so we can start this process, and you can find out if you want this guy to be one of your big villains, your big heels that you're going to put up there for one of the belts, in one of the big belts. I think it's very possible with a guy like that. I mean, Roman Reigns versus Veer, once Veer gets a little more seasoning, that could be really interesting down the road. I know it's Raw SmackDown, but you never know. Down the road could be very, very interesting. Lashley and Styles was great. Surprised me. Lashley really deserves a lot of credit for how far he's come as a wrestler. And I know, like MMA, I know he had a first run, but this run here, Lashley, there's just a more comfort level you see with him. And people forget, this business is a long business, and you get better as you get older. You get more time, you get more seasoning. And Lashley now is able to work with all these different styles that in the past, and pun intended, I guess, in the past, he hasn't always been able to work with wrestlers from different styles. And some of those matches have been kind of boring. But now you see him kind of trusting what he can do, trusting the other person and going with them and doing whatever. So it was great to see that match. Dana Brooke, Dakota Kai, what can you say? I mean, good win for Dakota Kai. Dana, once again, jobbing to help other people get over. She's like Natalia Light in a way, so great. But I like Dana. I like what she's looking like. I hope at some point, in terms of her ability and her look overall, her change in look, at some point I wonder if there is a mini run that is possible for Dana Brooke down the road as a thank you for all the shit that she's done. I mean, she's been in this business a long time now with WWE, getting through multiple storylines, multiple changes. Maybe there's something they're setting up for her. Yeah, and I agree with you, Chris. Theory versus Ziggler felt like a little bit of a weird ending. I know you're trying to promote Theory. You want to push him to the mountaintop. You think this guy could be the next champion for you all, and I totally get it. But let's understand that him versus Ziggler is not the best way to close out the show. And I know you want to promote him, but you got to have a bigger oomph. That was my one big criticism of Raw this week, is the oomph was kind of like, it wasn't really as strong as he'd had the last 2 weeks. So I wonder if he's still trying to figure out who's going to really get the right ending for all these Raws. So what did you think, Aaron? What did you think about this Raw and specifically this match?
Am I an a-hole for wanting like Veer Mahan to have like a mouthpiece? Like,
No, I don't think that's wrong at all. That's a good point.
Like the great Khali had Rajan Singh, and I think he still works for WWE. I think he's an agent, so maybe just throw Rajan Singh in there. I don't know. Maybe people will be like, "Well, what the brown guy works with the brown guy?"
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't have to be that way. It's always that way. Can't we get someone else?
But it would just, I don't know. To me, it would fit better because Rajan's the guy that, he made the Great Khali a champion. So the story could be he makes champions. He made the Great Khali a champion. Like he could make anyway, just fantasy booking. But the Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens thing, like, I made the reference earlier in the show. He's like, we're wrestlers in a wrestling ring, so let's just wrestle. And it's like they said wrestle 3 times on a wrestling show. It's like it's so weird that's like oh my god, I can't believe they said that on a wrestling show. But Kevin Owens, good to see him back in form. Drew McIntyre is riding a lot of momentum.
Yeah,
and he's starting to make me think that they may do something. No. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's Cardiff. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see
they
what
are
they do
booking
there.
him like he's unstoppable.
Yeah,
he is shaking off finishers and just like all sorts of. I mean, it's like he's beating down the Usos every week.
Yeah,
like they cannot.
And poor Sami Zayn. Yeah.
Oh, poor Sami Zayn. MVP of the week, in my opinion. But anyway, let's see what else we got here. I don't really care much about the women's title tournament until we get to like the finals.
Okay.
Because we already know that it's going to be Dakota Kai and Io probably in the final. They're probably going to win, would be my guess. And then they'll face off against Sasha and Naomi if that happens. By the way, shout out to the guy at the She-Hulk premiere that asked Sasha Banks if she was coming back. Asked her and Naomi if they were coming back. And Sasha just about looked like she wanted to fucking murder that guy. It didn't say anything. Naomi said, wow, you look nice tonight. And that was nice because it's Naomi. But Tommaso Ciampa just keeps getting better. I don't know how that happens, but good for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, main event, whatever. Whose hand was it, though? That's the question of the week. Whose hand was it?
It was Dexter's hand. It wasn't the Fiend's hand.
But it wasn't a full glove.
Oh.
Dexter wears full gloves.
Does he? I guess he has the opening thing
no,
too.
That's the Fiend has the open glove. But anyway, I don't know. I just like that Monday Night Raw has Easter eggs now.
Right.
So you're watching a Marvel TV show and you're like, oh, I saw that in the background. It's like, I see this in the background. So it's been a fun watch the past couple of weeks for Monday Night Raw. That's really all I can say.
Yeah, this is a good question you ask, Aaron, because let's take a look at this real quick. Whose hand is that? That looks like
it's an open glove.
And that's a thick arm.
It
feels like possibly the Fiend. That looks like a Fiend hand. I don't know if that's Dexter's hand.
Can you get a picture of the Fiend glove? Can you get it? Is it in the responses? It's got to be somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I can click on this, and because I don't know what the responses are going to be. But I mean, I don't know. We're looking at that. I mean, this is like Zapruder footage back and to the left. The hand. I don't know if that's possible. If there's anything more there. But yeah. I mean, it seems like it could be the Fiend's hand. I don't know. What do you? I mean. Aaron, Chris, you're convinced it's Dexter?
I'm pretty convinced. It was Dexter. I think, if I'm not mistaken, his new gloves aren't full gloves.
Yeah.
But I don't have. I know, Aaron, but I'm pretty sure. I feel like.
Let him in. Let him in, Chris. Let him in.
This is what I think. If you're with a character like Wyatt.
Yeah.
A character like he never comes back in a way that's like you've seen this before. You know what I'm saying? Or if he's gonna come back, it's gonna be a whole fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if him and his old gimmick with just a hand out there. I don't think that's the way they would do it. I just don't think so. But
it feels very horror. Like it feels like something James Wan would do in like an Insidious movie. It's like, oh, there's the hand of the devil. Like that would be cool. Like you didn't see that. So
I love the responses here from that post from Wrestling News com. And they're like, this guy says that is Bray Wyatt. Leather jacket sleeve is a dead giveaway. Other person responded back going, people just say it's Bray for literally every tease ever. The Edge video, people swore it was Bray. Now something that is clearly Dexter, everyone says is Bray. But I like my favorite post is here from Jeffrey T, who says, it's Mark Henry and Mae Young's child all grown up. That's what that glove is.
Hilarious.
So I like that.
We saw them at WrestleMania.
That's right. That looks like the Fiend's glove without the hurt or heel.
Yeah.
So that's possible too.
Fuck, it could be Diesel's glove. Who knows?
Here's a shot here, and let me include this because I know this is here's the shot of Dexter Loomis's.
So
interesting.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, it's definitely Dexter.
You compare that to this. There is comparisons, I guess. Maybe it's not fingerless. Maybe his fingers are down like this. So that's why it's that way. Maybe. I don't know.
Dang. Well,
probably Johnny Ace trying to get back in the building. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
all right,
those hands are definitely not those hands are definitely not clean.
It's true. Hey-oh. All right, let's move on from that before we get in trouble. I don't see any Streamlabs or Super Chat, so let's move on to our next thing.
I saw Super Chat.
Oh, did you? I don't see it listed here. Oh, here we go. Askell. What's up, Askell? He says, hi, guys. Triple H wants to take WWE to new places, but what was old can be made new again for sure. Should Triple H bring back the Raw is War tagline and the War Zone? Thanks. Gentlemen, what do you think?
You know what? I would say no, because you don't want to take away, and I know it's not a huge thing, but right. You don't want to take away focus from what is new by referencing old stuff. You know what I mean? It's so ironic that you asked this question because I've been thinking about this a lot. I listened to an old Paul Heyman interview where he was talking about what his plan would have been for TNA if he had indeed signed with them. And the whole thing was he would have got rid of all the legends except for one. He would have chosen just one and built stories around the one, because his reasoning was, how do you get over the new guys if everyone's focused on Sting, Foley, Nash, you know what I mean, Hogan, etc. Not that they're not, numbers getters and all this other stuff, but you're not building towards the future. In that regard, you can't get an AJ Styles over. You can't get a Samoa Joe. You can't, while everyone's focused on those things. So I think that the WWE is injected with tons of new blood right now, not the WCW version of the new blood. And I think we just kind of got to ride that wave.
Okay, right on. Aaron, what do you think?
Well, I don't think they can call it Raw's War or Warzone. That's why they stopped doing that, because I think USA was like, don't do that. But I wish they would just call it Monday Night Raw. Like, do they even do that anymore? Like, is it just Raw? Just they call it Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
Just do that.
Well, I like the idea of possibly bringing it back. Maybe even people working it into their promos and saying it in a certain way. But I agree with you. You gotta, it's 2022. You got to do something else. You got to do something new that appeals to what was going on, because Raw is War back then was certainly something that people were talking about and people were inspired by it. It was so new and unique and they wanted to get into it. Now you got to go a whole new direction. You are having shades of the Attitude Era coming back, of course, with certain decisions. It's just great. So now let's have something new in a new campaign that you can throw out here that Raw is connected to. And I'm sure Triple H has got like 5 or 6 people like in there trying to brainstorm something that would be fun to kind of brand Raw in a new way that is, updated for 2022. And we'll see what they end up coming up with for sure. But yeah, I'm sure there's something they're working on big time. Here we go. Haskell says they do at times have people in the ring say, welcome to Monday Night Raw. Drew did it like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. See,
okay.
So it does occasionally come up.
Fair enough.
Yeah. At some point, they got to bring that thing up.
I didn't even know Raw still had an opening. Like, I was watching it and I was like, oh, this music sucks. Oh, yeah. Pick one fucking song and just roll with it. Like, anyway.
Aaron's got to find something. You got to find something.
Well, I mean, come on, man. Like, they used to have some great music. Yeah. Like those early 2000 Raws, that opening was like, yeah.
I just think music overall is not that good. Oh, okay, I don't want to sound like
so use an old song.
I'm just saying music. Some of the rock stuff nowadays is, I don't find it that cool like it did back in the 2000s. Feels like it's different now.
I'm with you.
All right, well, let's move on here and keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. People, thank you, Haskell, again for sending that Super Chat. Show some support. We got 95 of you, so almost 100 of you watching already right now. Please hit that like button on this as you're watching. And if you're watching later, leave a comment down below after you hit that like button. All right, Aaron, where are we off to next?
All right, don't adjust your radio dial. We are talking about NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
The HEATWAVE show that happened this past week. We'll run down the card and talk about it. Carmello Hayes retained his North American title by defeating Giovanni Vinci in that matchup. Gallus from NXT UK. If you don't know Gallus, yeah, you should probably know Gallus. Beat down Diamond Mine, and that was kind of the theme through the show. These NXT UK people kept showing up. I was like, what the hell's going on? Cora Jade defeated her best friend, Roxanne Perez, so Cora Jade getting a big W. Tony D'Angelo defeated Santos Escobar, meaning that Santos has to leave NXT. So we'll see what happens there. Mandy Rose retained her NXT Women's Championship by defeating ZOEY Stark. Shout out. And then after that, Blair Davenport from NXT UK was shown tearing up a letter that Dexter Loomis had sent to his wife, Indy Hartwell. Braun Breaker defeated J.D. McDonough, the former Jordan Devlin, to retain his NXT UK his NXT championship. But after the match, Braun Breaker was confronted by the new NXT UK champion, which the show hadn't even aired yet, somebody told me, Tyler Bate.
Wow.
So it looks like we're going to be getting NXT versus NXT UK Worlds Collide here in a few weeks. So there's that. We're going to have some other NXT news here in just a second. But what do you think of NXT HEATWAVE?
I'll be quick on mine. Great to see Carmelo Hayes doing his thing yet again and retaining the title. I'd love to see him work. That guy's going to have all the belts at some point down the road. He just has that kind of energy and aura about him. Barring any injury, I think that guy is very much on the road and on the path to having some of the bigger belts down the road. Gallus, great win. Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. I don't know. What do I feel about this? Cora is not that good of a wrestler, and you're burying Roxanne a little bit by having her take the loss. She was fighting for the title not just a few weeks ago, and now you're having her take the loss to Cora Jade. So I don't know how that does for Roxanne. Surely elevates Cora Jade, but what is it going to lead to? Because we have a heel as a champion. So they're not going to put Cora Jade versus Mandy. So what is that leading to as you're building her up? I don't know. And talking about Mandy, I thought her match with ZOEY Stark was actually good. You know, I'm always picking on Mandy because I don't think Mandy's 100% there, but she took some sweet bumps and some good stuff from ZOEY, and ZOEY showed out. You can tell ZOEY's still just that little bit green when you're watching her in those matches. You can tell that she rides the wave a little too much when she's all hyped up and shit, and then gets a little too kind of slow when it comes to taking some of the hits. So you're seeing that she's figuring out the rhythms. And remember, she just came back from injury, so it's going to take some time. But I think she showed up what she can, showed out what she can do, and that was great to see from ZOEY. Blair Davenport, interesting stuff with Loomis and Indy. What does that mean? I mean, why are we connecting Loomis to two different sections? It seems weird where you're going. Breaker getting the win is great, and Tyler Bate, that's going to be a banger of a match. I mean, we're going to talk about Shinsuke and Gunther, but I mean, Bate and Breaker could be just as brutal of a match as we saw to a degree from Shinsuke and Gunther. So overall, a good heat wave. And I was worried that I wasn't going to enjoy it. I actually did enjoy it. So those are my thoughts overall. What do you think there, Chris?
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. This felt way more black and gold than multicolored 2.0 NXT, that we've gotten so far. Like a lot of surprise appearances, a lot of like focus on the wrestling, the work. I mean, it I don't know. It was like palpably different.
Yeah,
this event than anything else, and I really enjoyed that about the event. I mean, I'm very interested to see kind of what's next about NXT UK. I have some things that I'm hearing out there in the world. What was I going to say? I like that they brought in the Dexter Loomis thing, because it's like, yeah, he's back. Wouldn't his wife?
She probably want to know
going on. You know what I mean? When you feel a certain way about that, like my husband is getting arrested on a weekly basis in the other part of this company. But it's also it creates a continuity between the two brands to where NXT matters. You know what I mean?
Oh, good point, Chris.
It was like a multiverse thing under Vince McMahon, where NXT, was out of continuity with the main roster, and it just created a weird disconnect when people would debut. So now to do this, and speaking of which, I'm excited about Santos Escobar.
Yeah,
I guess
me too, man.
Main roster, because that dude is money.
Yeah,
that dude's absolute money, and it's been time for a long time for him to move on. Where was Cameron Grimes on this event?
I think
Like,
he did a backstage thing, maybe. Him and Solo Sikoa got something going on. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, maybe so. It was just strange that he didn't have a match. I mean, he's like, a stalwart there. But yeah, overall, I think it was a good event. Yeah, kudos to Mandy for, keeping up. A shame that Zoe is concussed, which kept her out of the tag team tournament on SmackDown. But overall, yeah, good event.
Aaron?
That Mandy Rose finish was dope.
Okay.
She put on the knee brace, popped her. I was like, oh, snap. I did not see that coming. It's like, shout out to Mandy on that one. I thought the show was great. I think that, we talk about like blue chippers and diamonds in the rough and people that we can see that are going to be great. We don't talk enough about Carmello Hayes. We don't talk a lot about NXT. Yeah. We think that Bron Breakker is like, obviously, like, to me, a bulletproof prospect. Like, it's really hard. It's going to be really hard to fuck that up because it's all there. And Carmello Hayes, like, he doesn't have like the same like pedigree. So he doesn't have like the famous family that he comes from and this lineage. So he's going to work harder for it. And by God, that dude works hard.
Yeah.
And shout out to Giovanni Vinci, the former Fabian Eichner. What an underrated talent, man. This guy, holy crap, dude. I cannot wait to see what this guy does in NXT 2.0. He's so good. Yeah. And them together, I knew the second when I was there and they put that match together, I was like, yep, that's a banger alert. And it was pretty good. I mean, that guy, Eichner is so deceptively strong. And Carmello Hayes is so smooth. Everything that guy does is super, super smooth. He's got Trick Williams with him. Like, I like the package they got going on there. Trick needs some work. That's okay. He can be, his heavy for now. Mello don't miss, man. It's not just a good tagline. Like, it's true. The guy really, really doesn't miss. We had the real Italian guy that's really from Italy, Giovanni Vinci. Then we had the guy that's not from Italy playing an Italian character, Tony D'Angelo. Yeah, I'm with you on Santos Escobar. I think that guy has a lot of talent. I've liked him since the Lucha Underground days. He's great. King Cuerno. Yeah, I think he's only got better. I think he's more confident in things that he's doing. I would caution them to bring Elektra Lopez with him because I think he needs a little something more. I think she would be a nice addition to that. Maybe not as a wrestler, but as a manager, but she could do that too. Or if you wanted to, hear me out, if you wanted to, put Santos Escobar with Zelina Vega.
Oh, kind of repeat the Andrade thing.
It's a money combo. Like, I think that would be great. I think that would be good. He doesn't need it. The guy can talk like nobody's business. Andrade needed it because he didn't speak English that well. So he's got the tools. He's got everything. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Do you think that might be a better version because you don't anticipate Santos pulling the ego card that it seems like Zelina kind of subtly referenced that Andrade was pulling, that he was a little jealous that she was getting just as much attention for their success. Do you anticipate Santos would go that route as well?
No, I don't. And Andrade's finding out that I kind of want to come back. But anyway,
I bet he does.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about Tyler Bate versus Bron Breakker because Tyler Bate's a show favorite. We love this guy. Big, strong boy, Tyler Bate.
Big, strong.
So good. So good. I mean, those NXT UK matches with him and Pete Dunne, like, come on. Yeah. Like, these are matches of the year. Him and Trent Seven as a tag team, Mustache Mountain, which apparently Trent Seven turned heel. I said, what the fuck? Why would you ever do that? But anyway, so I'm excited about that. Excited for Worlds Collide. Good to see Gallus in there. Those guys don't get enough. Was it Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang? So good. Love those guys. Interested to see what happens with Diamond Mine because it feels like Roderick Strong's just kind of floating out there somewhere. I don't know what he's doing, but I thought it was a pretty good NXT show, and I'm definitely excited for Worlds Collide. But let's go ahead and talk about the NXT UK news. Let's jump to that because that's important. So NXT UK is folding for the rest of the year, I believe is what they said. And they released a ton of talent, pretty much their whole roster that they're not going to use in NXT. So I'll go through the list and we can talk about who they kept and for what reasons. But Flash Morgan Webster, Wild Boar, Jack Stars, Mark Andrews, Amale, Amelia McKenzie, ring announcer Kirsty Bosley, Dave Mastiff, Ashton Smith, Shay Samuels, Nina Samuels, Sam Gradwell, Danny Luna, Primate, Rohan Raja, Kenny Williams, Amir Jordan, Trent Seven, Sid Scala, Eddie Dennis, T-Bone, Tiaman, Zaya Brookside, and Saxon Huxley all got released. And I'm going to tell you this, like, I saw a lot of people bugging out about that. Because like, oh God, they're doing it again. I think what's happening, because they're rebranding to NXT Europe. That's what's going to happen. So NXT UK is folding into that. So that's done. They did release a few talents, but I imagine that they did that just to save payroll. Because, like, why would you pay them to just sit at home and do nothing?
Yeah.
Why don't you, like, let them go and, work other places, and then, like, they're off your books, so you're saving money. And then when NXT Europe is up and running, then I feel like they'll just bring everybody back. Because there's no way they're getting rid of Trent Seven. There's no way. He's so good, and he's been so important to that whole NXT UK development. But that's my thoughts on that. Of course, NXT UK, Gunther, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Rhea Ripley, Tony Storm, they all came through there. So, we're seeing it now with Pretty Deadly as well on the main side. So NXT UK is important, but it looks like we're going to fold into that bigger Triple H vision of NXT Europe. And did someone say Triple H and takeovers?
Oh,
there you go.
You've been waiting to do that the whole time.
I have. Physical comedy.
But I'll say this, and I think the three of us can agree with this, that like a few weeks ago, if this had happened, we'd be like, what are they doing? Oh my God, more people released. What's going to go on? This is terrible. Blah, blah. They have no idea what they're doing. But now under Triple H, it feels like, as Chris was saying earlier, it feels reinvigorated. We feel that way about it when we're watching the WWE content now. So this is more now exciting. Like, okay, what are they going to do? Yes, these people have been released, but clearly Triple H has shown a propensity to bring people back that were fan favorites because he knows how to use them and knows what to do with them. So you have faith now that these releases are being done because of like technical thing or financial thing or legal thing that they have to do. And then when they reform in the NXT Europe, he's going to bring back the people he wants to bring back that were over and that were great. And there's going to be even more for them to do. There's going to be more angles, more storylines, more promos, more what have you. And so that's an exciting thing. So although this feels sad that NXT UK is closing shop, the fact that he wants to expand the brand to be NXT Europe as well, I think is genius. Because God knows how many wrestlers are in separate parts of Europe that they haven't fully used in NXT UK. And now it can be more representative. And down the road, as you said, with Worlds Collide, we could have events like we saw with Forbidden Door. We could actually see that in WWE like every year as opposed to, having to worry about, can we get the contracts right with the people? Can they wrestle these people, not people? No, everyone's on the WWE, so everyone fucking wrestles. So it's kind of a smart move. And no surprise that Triple H, just like following Vince, sees an idea and goes, I can make that work. And I know how to make that work better for our company. And so he may have taken that Forbidden Door idea, and now he's trying to create this here with the Worlds Collide situation in a bigger way. So I would not be surprised by that. Chris, what do you think about this situation with NXT UK?
I think it's a great move for business. NXT UK was such a specific, very regionalized, very localized play. I think that we expand the board out to Europe as a whole. Yeah. Now you're including not just the UK scene, but the French scene, the German scene, which I know is popping. There's a Swedish scene out there that I know there's a bunch of things they can incorporate now. And so now even when the brand is traveling, they're not just doing different parts of the UK, they're going all over Europe. Yeah. And good building fans and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I just think that's like, he's essentially doing what Vince McMahon did to the territories. Now he can do in other parts of the world. Yeah. And that is, to me, that's brilliant, utterly brilliant. So, I'm holding out for outrage about all these releases because I agree with you guys. I think that it's part of a bigger play. Mm-hmm. It's, hey, go get paid while we figure this out. Yeah. And then we'll bring you on back when we have a plan and we know what we're doing. Yeah. And then it'll be exciting, when you return and people see you as familiar faces, and everybody wins. Yeah. So I'm super excited about it. and bring back the European Championship, baby. Let's go.
Oh, I like it.
Have D'Lo Brown come out and hand it to the winner.
And plus, it's another thing that AEW does not have a foothold in. They do not have a European or really overseas foothold. Like, I think they've been to Canada once, or they're trying to go to Canada. So WWE's got that market down, dude. Like they've done big events in India, Saudi Arabia, Japan, China. Like they've got that foothold. Now it's going to be even worse for AEW to try to get that overseas talent.
You got to admire the balls on Triple H and the people involved with making this happen. I'm sure Nick Khan and Stephanie are all on board with this, but you got to admire the balls of him doing this because, like you said, Chris, it's the Vince thing. But and it's turning global, and all these territories, all these places, and maybe he won't rate them and shut them down like Vince did to the territories, but it'll be more about give us these best of your talent so we can give them a location to get more press on them, more eyes on them, which leads people back to your scene, which leads people back to your federation, and people want to see because the idea of a Swedish federation, that's kind of strange to me as someone who's been very, provincial in my thinking of just American stuff and the occasional European person that comes over. No, there's like a whole bunch. And it's what I say about acting as well. We like the best actor, and it's almost always an American actor, but there are multiple great actors working in all these different countries who are delivering better or just as good, if not better performances than anybody who wins stateside. So it's this idea that somehow Europe is, they're far behind us when they've been around and established for much longer than the United States. So it's the idea of opening the doors up, opening people's eyes up, and global. This is what WWE wants in the end, is to be global everywhere. And that's how you smash AEW or any prospective people that want to come and challenge you. It's like, brother, we're all over the goddamn world. Good luck. So it's smart.
What was it? Crap. Zeno Hour said, which territory is next, Mexico or Japan? I don't think they could get a foothold in Mexico. Like AAA and CMLL's got that on lock. It's going to be hard for them to get Latin America. But Japan's going to be tough too. New Japan Pro Wrestling Noah, whatever they got there. It's going to be tough. It's going to be
those
tough.
Are established decades long places. Centuries long, really, if you want to go back to the origins of it. So that's very, very difficult. I think it's more of a respectful relationship rather than trying to claw in there and have a foothold. So
why would you even risk doing that when you could just take the places that really nobody has a firm footing on? Progress did for a long time. They had a lot of the European wrestling scene, but Progress is kind of unfortunately lost its big appeal because WWE took a lot of talent. So
you guys watch
my only concern, my only trepidation is what we saw with Triple H versus Sting, where Triple H had to get the win over Sting as WWE over WCW. I hope down the road he understands it's okay to let the other country win. I hope that kind of gets into the mindset. If the person is much more over than the American person you're facing, that could be interesting and to play out as a longer storyline, because there's nothing Americans love more than deluding themselves that they're underdogs in any situation. So it's great. I love that idea to throw that out there. So hopefully he doesn't default to always America winning, because someone Gramash saying that a Wrestling World Cup would be awesome. I 100% agree with you.
Are you guys watching Sandman?
Yeah, I just finished the new episode from yesterday.
Mild spoiler for Sandman. There's a line that said where it's denizens of hell can't go into different territories. So why don't we just expand hell until hell's all there is? And it was that's what WWE is doing.
Expanding their own hell to where it just consumes everybody.
And Satan was like, that's not a bad idea. So I'm sure Triple H is feeling the same way. Not that I'm comparing, I'm just saying.
Triple H oddly similar. This Triple H is oddly similar to this guy.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Which apparently you could just have your arm destroyed by the Infinity Gauntlet, but then if you have some gamma blood put in your arm, it's fine.
The gamma solves everything. We know.
Bullshit. But anyway, that's another story for another time. Great episode of She-Hulk. I really enjoyed it though.
All right. Let's move on to AEW Dynamite, brother. What do you got?
Fine. Okay. She-Hulk CG though, pretty good.
Yeah, it was actually good. Yes.
She looks good. Anyway, AEW Dynamite Light the Fuse from Charleston, West Virginia. CM Punk comes out, buries Hangman Adam Page. We'll talk about it. Calls out Jon Moxley. They get in a big pull apart. Bryan Danielson defeated Daniel Garcia in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Jericho attacked Bryan after the bell, and Garcia stopped him. There you go. The Gun Club defeated the Varsity Blondes in, I don't know, like a minute. Then turned on their dad, and the Acclaimed ran off the Ass Boys. And then we finally, on television, got the words "Scissor Me Daddy Ass" onto television. Thank you very much. Jungle Boy beats up Christian, smashes his hand into the steel steps as agents were running around the ring saying, "Hurry up, hurry up." Tony Storm defeated Kyle and King as Thunder Rosa watched and smiled. The Young Bucks and a returning Kenny Omega defeated Ingobernables and Dragon Lee, which after the match, Andrade and Roosh turned on Dragon Lee. So Kenny Omega is back. CM Punk and Jon Moxley are fighting each other. Let's light the fuse. Let's talk about it.
Chris, go ahead, brother.
I mean, so much on this episode. I mean, what do we start? We got to start with the beginning, and CM Punk and Jon Moxley promo. I mean, where do we sit on this, guys? Yeah. Where do we feel like Punk was out of line?
But yeah, let's just focus on this, and all three of us talk about it right now, and then we'll move on to the rest of, and then we'll talk Kenny Omega, and then we'll do the rest of Dynamite. But let's talk about this. So, Chris, go ahead, start us off here with this. Where do you land on
it? I see it both ways. I would have been more on a Punk side if this had happened sooner. But the fact that he didn't have really an opportunity on TV to give a receipt for his perceived disrespect. And if you don't know what we're talking about, when Punk and Hangman Page were in a feud, Hangman cut this promo where he kind of mentioned Punk, screwing Cole Cabana almost out of his job and this, that, and the other. And then there was a whole controversy because Cabana was going to be released by AEW. The fans rallied against it, so he was re-signed and put on the Ring of Honor brand, which is why we haven't seen him on TV or as a member of the Dark Order. And, everyone's blaming CM Punk for this and his fractured relationship with Cabana. And so for Hangman to sort of bring it up on TV, which apparently wasn't planned and kind of shooting at the hip, really felt disrespectful to CM Punk. And I guess there was some sort of apology, but it was kind of behind closed doors and not enough of an apology for CM Punk. And then so on this episode, he literally calls Hangman Page to come out for a rematch off script, putting Page in a position where he's sitting there with his prick in his hand, well, what do I do? I can't run out there and cut a promo during a segment I'm not planning to be in. I can't go start throwing hands with this guy. What do I do? And just made him look like a coward when he's a babyface. You know what I mean? So it was just damn, yo, that was pretty tough. So again, it's okay, if you feel disrespected and you feel like a receipt is owed, that needs to happen way sooner than weeks later. Yeah. Even if you need to air his ass out on social media, which Punk never has had a problem doing before. But dog, you waited till you came back and then brought it up this many weeks later. Yeah. And it just put everybody in an awkward position. And, given Punk's history, man, it's starting to look like there's a malcontentment element to this man. And so I don't know. It's hard. Like I said, if it had happened earlier, I'd be leaning more towards Punk. But right now it seems like, dog, come on, man. It seems like you being kind of petty.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron, what are your thoughts on the CM Punk Moxley stuff? And
poor Hangman in backstage playing Nintendo Switch and just hearing this bullshit. There's a line in a rap song where it says, come on. It says, come on, dog. All that shit's clowning. Come on, how fucked up is you? And it's Hangman Page probably was like, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do? And what is he supposed to do? Like, go run past Tony and Gorilla and be like, you know what, Tony, I'm going to go fucking tell this guy off. Tony's probably like, everybody just fucking calm down. Everybody just calm down. Yeah. It probably wasn't very cool backstage because Hangman Page, like, is the nicest guy. Like, he's non-confrontational. Like, he'll tell you what he thinks, but he's like a non-confrontational guy. So for Punk to do that, I mean, it is what it is. He's like their biggest star right now. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, he's got all the power. And there was like rumors out there that he was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna quit." Like, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wasn't gonna do that. So it's a weird
Where's
situation.
He gonna fucking go? Yeah,
exactly. I think one of the best things that happened on AEW Dynamite, which spoiler alert, I thought was a good show, but the thing that was great to me was that they let the Punk and Moxley thing keep going. Like when Tony Nese came out for a match and Jon Moxley just beat his ass. And then like him and Punk got into it again. I was like, this is great. I love this. Like the through line was just those two. But they keep saying that Moxley and Punk have an issue. And I'm like, well, what's their issue? I don't understand. What's their issue? I mean, their issue now is that CM Punk said he's the third best person on his team, and that seems to be a running theme with his career. I was like, God damn! But
that was brutal, fucking brutal.
Yeah, so I like it. I think it's fine, but I don't know why you're attacking Hangman Page.
Yeah, I thought it was. You guys were complaining about it, and I was like, I don't get it. And then I went and researched, and I was like, oh fuck, of course. But yeah, and when I look at it now, look, I'm wearing my Punk shirt. I love Punk to pieces, but. You know me, I'm going to call motherfuckers out no matter how much I love you or hate you. I'm going to call you out or I'm going to give you your props. That's how it works. And for me, so I'm consistent. For me, I love Punk, but this was a bitch move. This was a bitch move, honestly, because A, you know he can't come out. So you're calling a guy out that you know can't come out. And B, why are you waiting weeks to do this? Wait till it fits in the process. Wait till you get into another program with him, and then you get back at him. People love callbacks from shit from a year ago when you're back together in a new program. It works. It reminded me a lot of the Challenge All-Stars when you watch that shit. It's like they're still upset about something from 20 years ago, some disrespect they got in the house when they were fucking 20 years old. Let's move on. So it's that kind of thing. And so, but I get where Punk was coming from because, you know, he felt disrespected. But Punk crosses the line all the time. So it's kind of odd for him to take offense to shit like this when Punk goes off script all the time in his promos and crosses that line and pisses people off, and people have to do like PR, smoothing over or backstage smoothing over with all that kind of stuff. And you guys sent me that Triple H clip where he called him out years ago in a back and forth, I think on SmackDown, and said to him, you think what's best for the company, you love what's best for the company as long as you stay number one. And I understand that because I did it, but I did it to your face. You go around and do it to people's backs. And I thought it was a bit of a off base because, I mean, everyone's got to use their tools or whatever they have. Triple H is intimidating guys who can be in your face. Punk's not as intimidating, so he has to go around and do his little weaselly stuff. I get it. But this is dangerous. This is playing with fire. And there's not a difference between what MJF did here a few weeks ago and Punk doing this here. Now you're kind of going off script and you're kind of forcing the writers and Tony into these positions. It's not really respectful of Tony's position as well. So I just wonder about this situation. That being said aside, I thought him and Mox were great. I think him coming out and absolutely burying Moxley, but then Moxley coming out, him doing snow angels in the fucking ring. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And then him coming in and Moxley just saying, oh, you're dropping pipe bombs. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. Let's go. And then getting in his face and literally getting in his face, looking like, and then Punk looked like he was legitimately pissed. They get at it. They go at it. They fight. And as you said, Aaron, it carried through the show. So for me, I think they did a nice job of building up this match. It's just you wonder what the conversations are like backstage now, because both of these motherfuckers can go off script and it could be dangerous on so many levels. It could get really personal. So I just wonder what that's going to lead to. But now I'm excited for this match in ways that I wasn't before. And you have to wonder, though, the ramifications of this stuff. You know, MJF called him out about this shit. Triple H called him out about this shit years ago. Will this become a thing with Punk? Because, I mean, he came in, I'm going to help the guys. I love all the young guys. I want to be here for AEW. I love AEW. If you love something, you don't do stuff to possibly cause it harm. So, to me, it seemed a little odd to do the Hangman Page thing. But overall, I enjoyed the promos. any final words on this before we move on to the next section?
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like Punk drinks a little bit of his own Kool-Aid. It's very Bret Hart. It's interesting that he's such a Bret Hart fan because it's very Bret Hart reminiscent of just like,
thank you.
Why do you take yourself so seriously?
Yes, Bret.
Yeah, it's like, dog, like, we get it. You want to be protective of your character. You want to be, all the things, but this is still pro wrestling, dude. You don't own you don't own these companies.
Yeah, Bret.
When
I
you're
just
the
saw
best,
a video of Bret saying how Ric Flair is the most overrated wrestler ever. What the fuck, man?
He's changed his response on that.
Has he? Oh.
Yeah, when you're the best, you can talk like that. But of course, CM Punk could be mad about something that happened years ago. They built the whole story of Jungle Boy and Christian on this fact of something a long time ago. So of course they can. But yeah, I mean, as far as the rest of the show goes, like, dude, Daniel Garcia, this guy that has the charisma of a brick, and I've said it many times. Like, I'm not charisma-wise, I could give a rat's ass about Daniel Garcia. I'd be stupid if I didn't acknowledge how good he is in the ring. And this match with Danielson is just, it feels like when Cody was in AEW and like Cody would cut these like old school promos and it felt like an oxymoron to the rest of the show. Like, this kind of feels like this isn't like a Young Bucks match. This isn't like a Lucha Brothers match. This isn't a Darby match. Like, this is a Matt classic. This is like a Bret Kurt Angle, like a Kurt Angle Mr. Perfect or something like that kind of matchup. Like, it was just ground and pound, like counter move, counter move. Okay, we're going to use leverage. Okay, we're going to try to get people counted out. We're going to make it make sense. And it was a good match. They worked body parts. Bryan Danielson used his own leverage to pin Daniel Garcia at one point. That could really happen in a match. So it made sense. And I thought it was a great story that they told that, Bryan Danielson is the American Dragon. You have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat there, which was great to see him. And then you have this young guy who looked up to Bryan Danielson, who thought that he could thought they could beat him, 2 more times. And it just wasn't the case. It wasn't quite good enough to get there. Wasn't quite good enough to get the job done. And is he a wrestler or is he some goof off with Chris Jericho? That was a great story and a great match.
Yeah. All right. What did you think, Chris? Anything to talk the Garcia Danielson stuff?
Oh yeah, I from top to bottom, just super well done. I really like Daniel Garcia in ring. Mm-hmm. The only caveat I'll put, he's in there with Daniel freaking Bryan. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
Bryan
true.
Danielson
That is
true. That match showed me AEW's almost like biggest problem, right? It's like, you got guys in that company who can do that. You know what I mean? And you got to put them to the top of the card. You absolutely have to. The fact that Daniel Bryan only has sniffed at the world title once so far is a mistake. It is a huge mistake. This is the guy you got to run with. Like, I mean, you don't know how much longer you got him. All my Sting needs to be AEW champion stuff aside for a second. Daniel Bryan needs to be. Why they chose Moxley as the guy in the Combat Club to hold this interim belt, I don't know. But dude, Daniel Bryan is just. I mean, he's unbelievable with everyone he gets in the ring with. Every single one. I just thought it was a great match. And just that classic wrestling magic of people getting over in a loss because of a great effort and it truly winning the fans over on their side and then chanting, he's a wrestler, you know what I mean? And now the dissension with Jericho of like, oh, is he going to join the Combat Club or is he going to stay with the JS? Blah, 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 all that. Just perfectly well executed. And to do it right after the hot start of Punk and Moxley, just outstanding energy, to start an AEW Dynamite. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't hold much anticipation for it because I was like, okay, Hager helped him win last time, whatever. So I was like, okay, what new shenanigans are they going to do this time? And I was like, oh, this is a straight up fucking match. Okay, let's see what this is good. And having him lose right off the bat, I was really surprised. I thought they'd even it out and then Garcia would get some sneaky win and then Daniel would win. But the fact that they put him down 2-0, I thought was genius. So then you're like, oh, wow, this could be interesting. And you're watching everything happen as it unfolds. And Bryan gets the victory. So I dug it a lot. And certainly when you're, and this is what Daniel Bryan does. And this is, again, you know, you can kiss his ass so many times, but it's true. Like, he is so great at putting young talent over. He understands. Look, I had my run. I had my WrestleMania moment. I did my thing, you know. I just love this business. I was retired for a long time because of my injury. I almost never did this again. So to help other people realize their dreams or have a shot at least to getting over, because whether they get over or not, I have no control over that. I can only do what I can do in the ring with them and help them. After that, I can't do anything else other than that. So I'm going to do my duty and honor this business. And so there's a respect with Daniel Bryan that comes there with the things that he does here. And Daniel Garcia, as you said, Aaron, not the best on the mic, but certainly in the ring, it just delivers some fun matches for sure. Bordering good to great, depending on your opinion. And so it's great to see this with him and Daniel. And so I enjoyed the hell out of that. So I'm down. I'm absolutely down. And, you know, I don't know if there's a lot of room for, I mean, Chris has got everybody wearing this title belt now. I don't know what you're going to do. I mean,
they have like 20 belts.
It's really got 20 belts. Have to create a new one for Daniel, a hemp AEW belt. But let's move on to Omega, man. That's the big story. Aaron, Kenny Omega is back. I see Chris wearing his Kenny Omega shirt. So, Aaron, what's your feeling? Did they bring him back at the right time? Did it work? Was it over? Do you think this will now kind of what is it going to lead to? So please take it away.
I'm glad to see Kenny. I really am. I'm glad that I think it's the right spot, but I think that Kenny was being pretty ginger in there.
Yes,
like he was being quite delicate, but he did V-trigger the shit out of Dragon Lee though. Good finish there. Like, good to see him back. Great pop from the West Virginia faithful. If you would have told me that Kenny Omega was going to return at a live event in West Virginia, I would not have believed you. But it happened. And I thought it worked well. I think that it depends. Like, Kenny with the shirt was a little weird, so maybe he's got some scars or something that's not quite healed. So I wasn't really, I mean, it's whatever. But so that was interesting. Going to take that. It's going to take some getting used to. But it's funny. It's so funny to me that Kenny gets this, like, welcome back, a great response, and they have to try to get the Young Bucks to still be baby faces. Like, Andrade, like, beats down Dragon Lee after, and it's like the Bucks are like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, that ain't cool. And it's like, stop it. Like, you're bad guys. Like, we know you're bad guys. Like, you're cool bad guys, but you're bad guys. We don't like you, or I don't like you. So I'm glad he's back. I really am. I just hope that we're not rushing this, and I hope that he doesn't get hurt again.
Yeah. Chris, thoughts?
You're getting worked, bro. You're getting worked. Kenny's been ready for some time. This is all part of the genius storytelling of Mr. Kenneth Omega. Okay?
It's not his real name.
Listen. There's a reason that he wore all that stuff.
Okay.
Don't you see a scenario where, as the weeks go by, less and less of the protective gear starts to show up on him to the point where he doesn't have any, and then he's fully back? You got to think about the way Kenny thinks and the way he does stories. It's like, he's a video game guy, you know what I mean? Where it's like, to him, this is an RPG situation where he needs more, you know,
fucking mana. What does he need?
He needs different skill levels to, you know, get recharged in order for him to be at his full potential. Because he didn't need all that stuff. He clearly didn't. He's wearing a shoulder harness and a compression shirt, and he's struggling to do it. And to your point, then all of a sudden murders this dude with the beach trigger like it was no problem. Of course he's okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's struggling. Oh, I can't. How am I going to do the one-winged angel? And then plants him dead. You know what I mean? Come on. You're getting worked, bro. And that's how good the man is that you believed that he's having problems, because that's the whole story. Yeah. He's got ring rust. He needs to get it back. He's not quite what he once was. And he's doing a physical representation of it with his gear. I thought it was fucking great. Absolutely great. And honestly, it's like with his absence and now return, he gives a different identity to AEW. You know what I mean? Like when he's gone, it's like, oh, this is good. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have a feel to it as an overall thing.
Right.
You need the guy who is the icon of your product.
Yeah.
And it ain't Moxley. It ain't Punk. They were made elsewhere. Yes, Omega was made in Japan, but this is his first big North America being the top guy in a promotion. He is AEW. No matter what you say, you know, he is AEW. And so him being back, I think, puts them back on track to have, like I said, that identity that's very important to, you know, getting people behind your brand 100%. And then once MJF returns, you know, I think that they'll be reinvigorated to, okay, because they're taking body shots from the WWE, and you know what I mean, and the cracks in the armor are showing, the chaos happening backstage and all this other stuff. But so happy to have the cleaner back. So happy to have the cleaner back. And once again, the world is talking about Bullet Club. It never stops. It never ever stops. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I might be I guess I'm in the minority here. I'm happy that Kenny was back, but I don't know if this was the show to bring Kenny back. Why aren't you bringing him back at a pay-per-view? Why aren't you bringing him back at a bigger event?
I put him in the tournament,
Yeah, but the tournament? This is what you bring Kenny. I mean, like Chris said, Kenny is AEW. If he's AEW, I don't know if they come into a trios tournament to share the spotlight with the Elite's AEW. It just, to me, in my mind, I didn't quite 100% like that this is when he came back. But Chris turned me around on this. Yeah, I was like Aaron, I was worked because I was watching it going, oh, man, I think he came back too early because maybe he's a little upset that he's losing the shine, that he's not the one people are talking about. So he's going to put himself at risk to try to get back a bit early. We've seen wrestlers do that and then get injured again. So I was thinking that, and then he pulled that move at the end. I was like, wow, that's incredible. He's got the adrenaline, blah, blah. But Chris, you're probably right. I got worked like a bitch. So let it be. But that's why I love Kenny Omega. He understands the business and the stories that you have to tell within those ropes. And he's so good at it. And so this is fun to see. So the fact that maybe it wasn't the best place for me to personally want him to come back, the fact that he came back and delivered that ending was fantastic. So great stuff. Great to see Kenny back. And now I'm very curious, as you add yet another spice to the stew, what happens, what this stew is going to be like. And once MJF comes back, what is the overall stew going to be? Who's going to be battling who? And I wonder if this either pushes Hangman Page even further down the chain, or because of what Punk pulled, maybe Hangman has a role to play here in the Punk versus Daniel Bryan match that is happening next week. I don't know, because to me, that's how you make that up. And then if he's involved with that, then you've got Kenny. What's Kenny going to do? Where's Kenny going to go in that? So there's a lot of big names that are coming back, big names you can still mess around with at the top of AEW here, depending on how you book it. So to me, it's great that he's back. Maybe I didn't like when he came back, but that he's back is good, because now we've got some more spiciness or friskiness going on here in AEW. That's going to be fun to see. Electricity, for lack of a better term. And, you know, I'm an NWO guy, so I'm not going to give it up to the Bullet Club, but I respect the fact that a Bullet Club guy is back now, because those guys know what to do once they're on TV, for damn sure.
Well, Roberto Arsenal says Kenny Omega greater than Roman Reigns. I say,
Roberto loves his hot takes. He's just feeling frisky because Arsenal is actually a decent team finally this year. Let's see if we got any Streamlabs super chats. Yeah, we got a few of the super chats that came through. We'll move on to the rest of AEW Dynamite after that. Chris Taylor saying Khan has a big challenge with handling Punk. I think Khan has a big challenge handling everybody at the top of his roster, to be honest with you.
Football season just starting back up.
Yeah.
He's got the Jags. He's got Fulham. That guy's got a lot on his plate.
I was thinking about this. Like I did I did that show at the Comedy Store.
Oh yeah.
Where I did a live wrestling show, and I had Darby Allin and the Lucha Brothers and Enzo and all these dudes on the card. In retrospect, was bananas. I had Gigi Dolan on the card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was very intimidated to talk to her at the time. But managing those personalities backstage for one show. When you're not when you're an inexperienced wrestling booker, that was a challenge, and it was stressful, and it was like, guys got ideas, and what if we did this instead, and what if I blah 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 blah, and I'm just kind of like, nah, just do it how I fucking told you to, you know what I mean? And it's like, but you can't have that energy, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, and so Tony Khan, again, AEW's been around 3 years. How much wrestling did Tony Khan book prior to that? Oh, none, zero.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So the dude's going through growing pains, and it is not easy to manage personalities, egos, especially of guys who've been doing it longer and know more about it than you.
Yeah, fair point. Robert also came in and says, I don't know what Tony Khan is planning next week for the title match, but he's got my cousin who thinks Moxley is boring, intrigued, so it's working.
He pulled Eric Bischoff. He said, "Oh, you want this pay-per-view match? Well, I'll just give it to you next week for free." We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think it's the second or third week that he's delivered a match, or the second time in 3 weeks he's delivered a match that should be on a pay-per-view here for us to watch on a regular show. So it's interesting. Interesting decisions. Black Cinema Critic says, where's Wardlow? Where's Pac? Give Jade a real match.
Well, I can answer both of those questions. Wardlow and Pac will be on the show next week. And then as for Jade Cargill, I don't know. Like, I know she had the match with Madison Rayne.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're the TBS champion. Shouldn't you be on TBS every week? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about from AEW Dynamite? The Gun Club turning on their father. I mean, the Jungle Boy beating up Christian. The Tony Storm match, and Jericho attacking Bryan after the bell and Garcia style. Like, what do you guys want to talk about? Anything else is left?
Why couldn't we have? First of all, Tony Storm, Kylan King, good match.
Yeah.
Why couldn't Thunder Rosa have that match with Kylan King? Why has Thunder Rosa got to sit in the fucking back room looking at a TV? Like, dude. She's on like Dark this week, or like Dark Elevation, somebody told me. And I was like, what? She's a champion.
Dude.
Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, okay, if you're not going to do what you need to do with Rosa, take the belt off of her. Put it on Tony, put it on somebody. Like, why is this such an afterthought? It's like, good show, Daniel Garcia, Bryan Danielson, good stuff with Moxley and Punk, good stuff here, good stuff there. Just throw a women's match out there. We'll deal with it later. Yeah. And then it's like, God, come on, man. Like, it sucked. It sucked. I hated to see that. Like, I'm glad that Tony got a win. It was a good competitive match, but it was against somebody that had only ever also been on Dark and Elevation. So it's like, we don't know this Kylan King. I mean, if you know females in the indies, you know Kylan King, but like the broad audience doesn't know her. So why is she a threat to Tony Storm? It doesn't make sense.
I think Thunder Rosa is absolutely being sacrificed for the Tony Storm rise. It will absolutely happen. They're gonna put the belt on her, which I'm fine. I like Tony Storm, so I'm not a problem with it. But I'd like it to spark something in Thunder Rosa, either a heel turn, or I mean, her and Britt Baker becoming a tag team would be insane. So to me, there's possibilities you can play, but it seems to be that's what they're setting up. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
You ask where's Thunder Rosa? Where is the women's division in general? Where is Sheeta? Where is Riho? Where is Nyla Rose? Where are these wrestlers? You know what I mean? Good point. They're just not on the show. You know what I mean? I get it. No. And it goes to the point I just made. There's a lot of things to manage. A lot of things to manage. So why don't you delegate? All right, you the women's division is your thing. We want to make sure that there's this much time they have on each program. Make it your own. I'll oversee it. Boom, let's go. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of people backstage that could do that. Yeah. And it just seems wild that there's like one or two women's segments every show, and then they're right next to each other in the same hour, same segment, and it amounts to Jade is an unstoppable force, but she don't really wrestle like that, and your main women's champion is just an afterthought. And it's like, what are you doing? You can't build a credible division that people care about that way. That's just not how that works.
Yeah, and no offense to you, Aaron, but I know you were kind of excited for Madison Rain to come back or to be a part.
It's been a week. Come on.
I'm just saying, no, but I'll tell you this: I don't think she was the right choice. Period. I don't think she left barely a footprint in the business. So to me, it's not. Well, it's not like Molly Holly. Molly Holly was able to do stuff.
They can't get her though,
huh?
They couldn't get her. They can't get Molly Holly. They can't get Sarah Amato. They can't get Alundra Blaze. Like, what are you gonna get?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Ivory's out there.
Well, maybe not. But anyway, moving on.
Meme. You just did the meme.
I hear things, but anyway, I wanted to talk about. Can we just make a quick mention again of that CM Punk promo where he said that Eddie Kingston was the second best Kingston he ever faced and the third best Eddie?
Nice shot to Kofi, though. It's good.
Well, him and Kofi used to be travel partners. Not a lot of people know that. Like when Punk got his own bus, like him and Kofi were like bros.
Yeah.
So
no surprise.
Shout out to Kofi.
I like that he also mentioned it wouldn't be the first John he'd beat in Chicago for a title. I seen him mention that he was smart.
He was hitting them all.
The theme of the promo was brilliant. Doing playing the numbers game, doing the little WWE references. That was beautiful.
I just love that Punk's in the same camp as I am about Eddie Kingston. So I appreciate that very much.
And I cared about the Gun Club. Like I cared about what they were doing. I was like, wow, this is really cool. They destroyed the Varsity Blondes. I was like, wow, this is great. Then they turned on Billy Gunn. I was like, no, I don't care because I don't like this.
What? Really?
Well, like Billy Gunn had been challenging them to like be better. Like you guys can be so much better. And then they finally show it. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. They just beat him up and go with Stokely Hathaway, who's been Jade Cargill's publicist. What?
I loved it. I thought it was a great move.
The focus is on the wrong team. Like, we don't need to focus on the Gun Club right now, even though they did well. We're focusing on the Acclaimed. Because the Acclaimed is going to get up there. They're going to be the next tag team champions. Like,
right. So this is a great face or how can I say that? More elevation of their face status by having them come and save Billy Gunn from his own sons. And so Billy Gunn now becomes their mouthpiece and becomes an element of them and, champions and supports them all the way to the belt. While the Gun Club gets jealous and does their little heel stuff, chicken shit heel stuff. I thought it was a smart move. You might be right, but I thought it was a smart move.
It gives it a personal touch to their feud. It's like, not only do we not, are we a rivalry because we used to be friends, but it's like, now you are fathers with you. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Like, yeah, that's good.
They had a dumpster match last week. What else is there to tell? And if you heard Max Caster, they don't need a mouthpiece, please.
But also, you throw the element in there that Billy Gunn may at any point turn on them to go back with the Gun Club. So you add that element to it that you just don't know what's going to happen with this situation. So I'm just
Billy Gunn on a pole match coming soon.
Hello.
Oh, once an ass man, always an ass man.
Jesus Christ. Get your thoughts on this. Haskell posted what AEW just tweeted out saying what's on Dynamite on Wednesday. Of course, we know Punk versus Moxley, but the Trios tourney semifinal here, Death Triangle versus Will Ospreay and the Aussie Open. So Will Ospreay and the Aussie Open coming back to AEW to have a match here in the Trios is really interesting. Dax Harwood versus Jay Lethal could be interesting, but Britt Baker now taking on Kylan King, who just got beat by Tony Storm. What is the logic in that? And then Billy Gunn versus Colton Gunn, and we hear from Ricky Stark. So, I don't know. This seems odd to me on so many levels. Like, it starts out well, and then it falls off the cliff here with this Baker versus Kylan King situation. So, gentlemen, thoughts on these matches?
And Thunder Rosa handing out free Pepsis in the back. What the fuck? It's terrible. No, that part's terrible, but the other stuff is good.
Yeah. Oh, man, crazy. All right, crazy. All right, let's move on to some SmackDown stuff. What do you got here, Aaron?
SmackDown was a banger. So we had Ronda Rousey starting off the show by getting arrested because she's suspended, guys. But she's doing good. Toxic Attraction made their SmackDown debut. and defeated Natalya and Sonya Deville as JC Jane got Natalya in a roll-up, the dreaded roll-up. Hit Row, we didn't have a chance to talk about them last week because we did the show early, but Hit Row returned sans Shane Swerve Strickland and interrupted the Maximum Male Models and then gave a performance. Sheamus defeated Ricochet, Sami Zayn, and Baron Corbin to become the number 1 contender for the IC title. He will take on Gunther.
Oh, my.
In Cardiff at Clash at the Castle. Liv Morgan defeated Shotzi, and then Shayna Baszler attacked Liv Morgan and left her laying after. Then Roman Reigns came out, cut a promo, and he and Drew McIntyre had a nice little pull apart to end the show. So that's Friday Night SmackDown for you.
Well, Aaron, why don't you start off with it? What's your feelings about all of this?
I like that they're using Ronda the way that she should have been used like 3 years ago.
100% agree with you, man.
It's great. Did somebody say NXT call up and returns?
Oh, jeez.
That's right. He gets more powerful every week. I like Hit Row. I've always liked Hit Row. Without Swerve, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. It doesn't. They're mid-level at best. At best. But yeah, Sami Zayn, the through line of Sami Zayn throughout SmackDown, where he was going to win the IC title for Roman Reigns and for the Bloodline and add the gold to the Bloodline, like, so good. So good. And when Toxic Attraction came out, the fans knew who they were, which is something different that you don't always get from NXT.
Yeah.
So that was good. I liked the show overall. I thought it was like a quick watch. It went by pretty fast, but a good show.
Yeah. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you said it earlier, MVP, Sami Zayn, baby.
Yeah.
And, again, in the past, hometown boy, they would have done everything to make him look ridiculous. They would have done everything in their power to just make him look horrible in front of his home crowd. But that is not the direction they went into. He actually gets his audience with Roman Reigns. He gets Roman Reigns to admit that the Usos are ungrateful.
Yeah.
So, interesting wrinkle of the storyline of what if he does start to favor Sammy over the Usos, and then that calls back to how this whole thing got started, which was the Usos versus Roman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
full circle.
I love it. And then, they got to remind us that, dude, Sammy can work, bro.
Yeah.
Not only is he a great character in promos and talking and this, that, and the other, but the dude can wrestle. And so he got to show a lot of that tonight and in that 5-way match, which was an absolute banger. Going from the beginning, again, this is how you book Ronda Rousey. Not a face, not a heel, just just a force of nature. She's the Joker. You know what I mean? Where it's just like when she shows up, shit gets fucked up. That's just what that is. And then I like that it's like inspiring Baszler to, tap into that. You know what I mean? That like more badder side of herself that is aligned with Rousey, which I said on the show weeks ago. Pair those two together, have them go after the tag team titles. That's money. That's easy. That's easy money. Yeah. Toxic Attraction. They really should have been in the tournament from the get-go. I'm not sure why Mandy and why am I blanking on her name?
JC.
No. God.
Zoe and Nikita.
Zoe Stark?
There you go, Zoe and Nikita. I'm not sure why they were the tag team at first. I mean, I get it. They're like the babyface NXT tag team, but Toxic Attraction is already a ready-made package. Plus, they're probably going to be in the main roster sooner than later anyway. They should have been there from the get-go. And it showed in this match how they absolutely delivered. Yeah. And, how much did we miss Bayley? Much did we miss her and the best feud in wrestling, her and Michael Cole? It's just fantastic. Still, it remains. Thank you so much for coming back to me. Hit Row. Woo! I thought your butchering of the Eminem line earlier was bad, Aaron.
Thank you, Chris.
This rap performance, because it not even that it was so bad, it was so out of place and so like when you watch like hood movies that were clearly written by white people. Where, you know, I was like, something don't feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't smell the pomade in this. It's just a little, yeah, just out of place, place. And you're right. And there's no. They need a guy. There needs to be someone who's the guy, who's the centerpiece, and it ain't B-Fab. It really isn't. She's cool, but it ain't her.
As much as she may think it's her, it's not.
She definitely thinks it's her, without question.
Yeah, I'm not here to listen to B-Fab slander. I'm not going to listen to
it. How dare you?
She's not a great wrestler.
She's a better rapper. That's all we need her for.
Dude, I think Sheamus is a good choice to win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Him and Volter are going to beat the snot out of each other at Clash of the Castle. I mean, they are going to pound each other in a way that, you know, I can't make a joke about without it being dirty. It's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. You know, the Liv Morgan stuff, like I said, I'm just happy that
dude,
you know, a beast. Shotzi is being wasted. Shotzi, give her tank back.
For now,
we're talking about the NXT call-ups that need to return. I need the tank.
Patience.
I think Shotzi's taking the losses like Becky did for a little bit before they turned Becky into a superstar. I think they're going to give Shotzi her run. She's just having to pay the price a little bit, but I think they've promised her a run down the road. Yeah,
I hope so. So. And then, yeah. I mean, they are making Drew McIntyre look unstoppable heading into this match at Clash of the Castle. And then again, who takes the bullet for Roman? Sami Zayn. He sacrifices himself to take the Claymore. And dude, it's just like I just love what's happening in that storyline right now. I did not know he was the guy I needed injected into that storyline, but he is killing it. And did Michael Cole make an El Generico reference on SmackDown? I would have bet everything I own that Michael Cole does not know who El Generico is.
Wow.
I would have bet everything.
A lot of classic shirts down the drain.
Dude. And I would have been wrong. I'd have been so utterly wrong. It made me feel great. He made me feel fantastic. He clearly doesn't realize that El Generico is out of the country building homes in underdeveloped lands, and that he is not Sami Zayn. I don't know why people still keep this weird thing perpetuating. But great show. Great SmackDown.
I loved SmackDown more than Raw. I thought Raw was a good show. I really enjoyed SmackDown. I had a lot of fun with SmackDown. This is what I was hoping to see when they went, you know, the Fox route and whatever, get more press, more publicity, more shine on them. This is one of those episodes. It was like, okay, this is what they can be. This is what it's all about. And it was a lot of fun to see. Even the Karrion Kross Scarlett stuff worked for me for the most part until Karrion got too angry. Then it became ridiculous. But Scarlett being up there, I wish Scarlett had a little more of a, how can I say that, an organic instinct. You know, when the Usos were like, we're going to put you in the ground, tell you boy. She's like, that's funny because the same message I'm delivering to you. That is not how you go back at somebody. That is not how you go back at somebody. You got to come a little harder than that. Love the Sami Zayn through line. Dude, I just there's just people you just love in wrestling, and Sami is one of them because of what he can do. Not afraid to stand his ground to about certain things, which I really appreciate, but also willing to commit himself to the business, and that's so awesome. He took a number of shots that night that were incredible, and Roman's look at Sami as he's lying in the ring while Roman is against the ropes there, I would love it if they played with the storyline that Roman is now becoming a paranoid leader, that he is even questioning the Usos' commitment to him, and that Sami is like worm tongue in his ear, like we saw in Lord of the Rings, like totally corrupting him from the inside out. I saw some of you in the chat suggesting the Usos turning on Sami. They're not on Sami's sides.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But you could see that, and then KO comes in, and then we get Usos versus KO and Sami, which I would love to see, but I don't know if they're necessarily going to do that. Right. I think they're going to play this thing out a little bit more with Sami and the bloodline, and it's great. You got to keep refreshing Reigns if you're going to keep having him hold the belt. So you've got to find new ways. And why not paranoia? That's a new one to explore. That could be a lot of fun. You had elements of that with the Brock Lesnar Heyman stuff. Now bring it into the family, and that he's, this is a white guy coming into the family. There's so much you can play with here that could be really interesting, promo wise or optics wise. I think could be a lot of fun. Yes, this is the weekly Liv Morgan slander segment. Jesus Christ. It was trying to, Shotzi is still a little green. So her trying to make Liv Morgan look good in the ring. It was a bit clumsy and awkward, that match. And the crowd was fucking dead. The crowd was fucking dead until the end. But Baszler coming in and doing her thing, I thought was great. No one screams more than Liv screams, so it works. But is this the excuse they're going to use to have her lose to Shayna? Or is this a matter of like, let's make her the biggest underdog ever against Shayna, broken arm or hurt arm, going to Clash of the Castle? And that's going to look shitty for Shayna. If they sacrifice Shayna for yet another victory, they're not putting Liv over. I'm telling you, her beating Ronda and her beating Shayna back to back is not going to put her over. It's going to make fans even more angry. It's going to make fans even more angry because you botched the Ronda finish, in my opinion, and you might botch this finish at Clash of the Castle. So to me, it doesn't make sense. I would love it if Shayna came in and absolutely decimated her and won the belt. Then Liv goes on this underdog campaign to go and get the belt back, because that's where people love her best, in the quest for the belt, not in actually holding the belt. And the WWE universe, or the WWE, needs to understand that. So that's I don't see it happening, but that would be my booking if I was in charge of WWE. Let Shayna destroy her. She goes on a crisis of confidence, builds herself back up. The Ronda thing, I'm telling you right now, I'm turning around on Ronda in a way I've never have. She's still not good on the mic, as last week showed us. Stumbling over your words when you're a heel is a really bad sign. But this time around, I thought she delivered a better promo, better, getting Homie to come out here and lift her suspension, all of that, and then getting into it with all the security guards, of course, held on by McAfee's insane screaming over the whole thing. And then her getting arrested, which we've seen them do multiple times, very famously with Stone Cold. So to me, it works. This is the Ronda that they needed to be run. The fans were behind her, chanting her name in a way that I've never seen. So that to me tells me this is what they've been waiting for. Give the fans what they want. Let's go with this route with Ronda. That's going to be a lot of fun. Toxic Attraction, getting their victory is great. I saw someone in the chat mention that Nikita Lyons didn't go because she's not vaccinated and Canada won't let her wrestle because she's not vaccinated. I don't know if that's true or not, or if the concussion had something to do with it. Zoe suffered. I don't know. Hit Row. Yeah. This is like, remember all those people who showed up on like Puff Daddy's raps or on Jay-Z's raps, but then you never heard from them again afterwards? That's what Hit Row is to me, without Swerve. They're like these, remember, and you get those bars, you get those verses from whatever rapper, and then you never hear from them again. And you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, okay, fine. Like Craig Mack. Craig Mack had 2 fucking good songs, and then Craig Mack was never heard from again. So that happens. I'm
not here for the Craig Mack song.
He had 2 really good fucking songs.
You take back everything you just said about Rod Digga. I'll kill you.
I'm just saying, man. So, that happens in rap. You get these guys that pop up, or these women that pop up, and then poof, they're gone. So to me, that's what I see as Hit Row without somebody there to kind of give it a little oomph. I'm glad that they're back. Love to see people employed. That's great. But we need somebody in there that's going to put in the spice that Swerve had when he was a part of them as well. I agree. Sheamus, great. It's ironic that Gunther is now going to be the smallest person in the ring. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? So to me, in the end, I think he should go back to being a little bit bigger. I actually don't like the leaner Gunther. I really don't. I like the more beastlier, bigger barrel-chested guy. So that's for me. That's my opinion. Yeah, Junior Mafia, exactly. Don't one of y'all have sickle cell or something, as Tupac said? So yeah, those kind of things.
When did this become a rap show? I don't know. I like it.
You started this with this Eminem bullshit.
I did.
Go ahead, Chris. What were you going to say?
Junior Mafia. Okay. The first Junior Mafia album was amazing, first of all. Okay. Lil C's, fucking Lil Kim. Come on.
I'm not talking Lil Kim. Lil Kim's stuck around, even though she couldn't rap on cue at the Puff Daddy tribute thing. But you know,
I'm not gonna go crazy with you two about hip hop music. All right, but back to SmackDown. Something that you mentioned, I didn't even think about the KO connection to the Bloodline storyline. We literally ended Raw with him telling the Usos, "Tell your boss he owes me one."
That's true. That's true.
Continuity to SmackDown of Roman telling Sammy, "You tell your friend I don't owe him shit." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go handle that. The dynamic of the friendship between Sammy and KO mixed in with the dissension with the Usos and Roman. This could get really good after Clash of the Castle, especially if Roman starts spending more time on Raw with KO around. So
I love her.
It's gonna be great.
I love our fucking audience, Chris. Is Hit Row a pro wrestling Mace?
Mace had 2 platinum albums.
Harlem World's one of the best albums ever.
3 platinum albums. Harlem World, Double Up, and Welcome Back. Get out of here with that.
You leave Mason Betha alone. That's Reverend Mason Betha.
Murder Mace. Children of the Corn. Big L, Cameron, Mace. Relax. We're not going to do this hip-hop talk here.
I kind of love it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Can we also, I got to give the chat credit on this. I'm going to give
the chat is great today.
Because we're talking about Sheamus.
Wait, Aaron, one more. Hold on.
Yeah.
Man on a mission greater than Hit Row.
I mean, look, it's saying something when John Cena is the best rapper to come out of the WWE. That's saying something.
John Cena versus
Sorry, Aaron, what were you going to say? Sorry.
John Cena versus Max Caster. Let's see it. Rap battle. Anyway, Sheamus and Gunther. The chat had it right, and I'm here to say it with you. Clip it out if you need to. Shout out to Big E. Big meaty men slapping meat. That's what we're here for. So I'm into that.
Yeah. So put some more weight on your body, Gunther. I don't like the slimmer.
Dude, looks great.
I don't. I like the bigger dude.
Rook is a hater. Like, you can't be too big or he hates you. But if you're like taking yourself seriously, get super lean. Fuck you. Put some weight.
It's a case by case basis.
Eat
I
a
don't
burger,
tell KO to lose weight. I like KO with the gun. I don't tell him to lose weight. He looks great.
Dude, he looks fantastic. He's ripped. He's healthy and happy. He's got a great life with his lady. He's having a good time.
Let me tell you something. Nobody who's losing weight like that is happy. Nobody's losing weight like that. Carrie Underwood said this in an interview one time when she lost the weight after American Idol. She is perpetually in an angry mood because she can't eat the things that she wants to eat, and she has to eat only certain things to stay the weight that she's at so she can get more people to watch her and enjoy her music. So that's the truth about being in the entertainment business. Don't get it twisted, people. All these people to talk about body shaming and body positivity, and you notice it's the really skinny ones who talk about it the most, and it's because they're barely eating anything so they can stay castable. This is the truth of it all. So don't get it twisted. I think Gunther was told to lose weight so that he could get over more. He lost the weight, but to me, he looks weird in the weight. I like George Lopez when he lost all that weight. He looked like a bowling ball on top of a broom handle. You need to have some people just look better with a little more weight. I think Gunther does. That's my overall opinion.
Alex Brunner's backing me up. Slimmer Gunther can do more in the ring. And longevity.
You don't need to do more if your weight gives you power to just destroy people in 4 or 5 moves.
Longevity, man.
Look at Cena.
Yeah, look at him.
I'm just saying he's massive.
And he can't do that much in the ring.
How many times have you been champion? Who gives a shit?
16 times.
There we go. That's what I'm getting at. As Clarissa says, give me the beef. That's right. Zach Taylor beef.
Y'all are hard to please. Y'all are hard to please.
Is Vince McMahon in the chat under these various names? Like, what is this?
God.
No, senior nerd.
Eat a sandwich, you pussy.
If that is the case, Adam Cole must be the most. No, Adam Cole isn't. His body shape, it does not have a proclivity to be fatter. It's not Adam Cole's body shape. Study health, motherfucker. There are different body shapes, body types. Anyway.
Crosswalker's got it. Pete Dunne looks good too.
Pete Dunne looks good. Yeah,
exactly. He looks great.
Harley, I never complained about Harley Race.
He's a fat guy. From
He scared the shit out of me, Harley.
Come on.
Or Otis. I never told Otis to lose weight.
He's a power lifter.
Exactly. I like that's what I'm saying. It's a case by case basis, Aaron. That's what I'm saying.
Mark Henry,
Anyway.
fucking.
Well, happy birthday to Gunther today, or Walter today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You look great. You look great. I just want you to be heavier. All right. Anything more we need to cover here from this SmackDown before we hit some of these Streamlabs, gentlemen? Anything more?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Do we like the Ronda? Like, are we on board with this now? Are we back? Like,
100%.
are we support of this? Okay.
100%.
I agree. All right, let's hit some of these Streamlabs here from Last Cinema Sailor. He's got a couple of them, so let's hit the first one. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, Rock. Oh, sorry, wrong form. Chris, I'm very satisfied with my WWE shirts from WrestleMania 5/5. I don't know what that means. I was bummed that I was not able to purchase a Dallas 316, but it's my fault for waiting until day 2. Aaron, have you got any new figures? So, Chris, address the shirts, and then Aaron, any new figures?
What was the question about the shirts?
I'm very satisfied with my WWE shirts from WrestleMania 5/5, I guess. I was bummed that I was not able to purchase a Dallas 316 shirt, but that's my fault for waiting until day 2 to buy it.
I mean, yeah, no. Your first stop at these events is the merch stand. That's your first stop.
No matter how long the one.
Yeah, you got to hit the merch stand, get your shit.
Yeah,
because the shit sells out. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, only modern shirts I buy anyway either have a date on them, or they have because anything that has a non-reprintable value to them. Because nowadays they can reprint these shirts 1,000 times. So
that's true.
Think about that.
Aaron, any new figures?
Nope, nothing. Got nothing lately. Just stuff to give away to you guys. That's all.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Do we have a winner today or no?
Yeah, I picked one.
Okay. All right. We'll announce it at the end of the show. Austin Kramer says, I thought the Ezekiel family segment on Raw was hilarious. Yeah, that was on Twitter. It was genius, guys.
For an angle I thought was being dropped to do the comedy perfectly is, again, another sign that we are in good hands in WWE.
Good point. Aaron?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Cool.
Again, I thought it was dead, but here we are.
And the Last Cinema Sailor sent another one. He said, I'm so over Liv and her defenders. Shotzi is absolutely a star, and she should always host HH on NXT. What is HH?
Halloween Havoc.
Oh, Halloween Havoc on NXT regardless. Gents, thank you for always putting an amazing show in and for the bonus episodes as of late. Been watching since the very beginning. Hashtags watch-alongs. And Cinema Sailor said, I was just commenting on the good quality of the shirts. He was saying the WrestleMania shirts were 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Got to be clear, Cinema. You got to be clear, brother, man. Sorry about that.
One of our best homies, the Last Cinema Sailor.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks for the compliments. It's very. I think we're all on board with the Shotzi ability. So we want to see more. And as Aaron teased, I think there is more coming down the road. Yeah, for sure. We did have one more super chat. Yeah, we got 125 of you, 130 joining us right now. Please hit that like button as we're close to wrapping up the show here. JMB said a complete tangent. So if you don't feel like answering or waiting until later, it's cool. Any chance you make an appearance at the Movie Trivia Schmodown Spectacular? Can't imagine MTS coming to an end without the Outlaw. Thanks. No, unfortunately, timing and scheduling, I'm not going to be able to make it. But I had my thing last year. I didn't want to take the shine away from other people who didn't retire, who are playing and want to have a final match. And also I have a gig that I booked that unfortunately was the same weekend. So I'm not going to be able to make an appearance, unfortunately. But, I had my ending last year and it was great. So please, the show goes on without me. The show ends without me. Totally fine. It was a great show. And Christian is going to put those up on a separate channel, which I think he announced in a video recently. So all the Schmodown stuff you can rewatch again on a separate YouTube channel that he's going to put that up on. So look for that. And so maybe I'll do some intros for the matches for Christian, which could be fun, like some pre-recorded intros, so stuff like that. So although I'm no longer part of it, I will maybe hopefully down the road have something to do with that, which could be a lot of fun. It all depends. All right. Do we want to do some? Is there anything else more to talk about this week? Anything more we get a hit on? Do we throw some trivia questions? What do you guys want?
Did you write down trivia questions?
I did, but not categories. So I'm just going to throw stuff out.
Good.
Is that...
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for that.
Okay, let's do that.
What do we want to announce the winner first? Or
Yes, let's do that. Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
All right. So of all the things I was reading through there, and I liked this one the best because it made me laugh. And it says this is from Edge's 01 hat. So Edge's 01 hat's going to get the figure. And it said, great insightful commentary on all the latest news in the world of wrestling. These guys are a constant blast to listen to as they run down the weekly results from everything from Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite with additional. I don't know why it cuts me off, but it won't let me read the whole thing. So that's all it gave me. Yeah. So Edge's 01 hat, if you would like to contact me either on Twitter, at only Aaron Turner in the DMs, or you can email me, Aaron Turner 8617 at gmail.com. I'll get that figure out to you. Also, I'll throw in, I went and got a passport photo made, and they screwed up the first one. So here's a signed copy of my passport photo, if you'd like. So let's throw that in there too.
Oh my Lord.
Hey-o. Good to go. But yeah. So congratulations. And there'll be more giveaways, I'm sure. Next week maybe we'll start a new Chris, I'm sure you got something you can give away. So maybe we'll do a new giveaway, come up with a new, especially as we're about to, move over to our own channel. And of course, we are on our own podcast feed. So please subscribe to that, as the winner from this week did. So, more and more people need to subscribe to it. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Chris?
No, I was saying 5-star reviews, guys. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars.
Rob Van Dam, that thing.
If we get 100 5-star reviews, Aaron is going to do a spin-a-rooney.
Oh, my.
That's what he told me.
He may not even take that many. If we get a how about this? If we get 100 5-star reviews,
100 5-star reviews. Okay.
100 5-star reviews. We will get Rob Van Dam to do an intro to the show.
What? I like that idea.
I know somebody that knows Rob Van Dam.
Oh, do you now?
I do.
Haskell saying spin around in his chair, maybe.
There you go. He knows.
Come on, guys. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, you guys ready? I'll do some easy ones. Say your name for the answer, because I won't be able to watch, because I'm reading them. I won't be able to watch on screen. So say
why
your
don't
name.
Why don't you just ask different questions of different people like we've been doing?
Oh, I thought you didn't want to do it. Now you're telling me how to do it. All right.
No, I don't want to buzz in.
All right, Vince. Hold on. Let me figure this out real quick. Fine. All right. Let's go with number 1, and I'll go to you, Aaron. Who is the only WWE superstar who has seized the Intercontinental Championship 8 times?
Chris Jericho.
Good job. Real
quick, Christopher Stikelether says Montez Ford's Frog Splash better than RVD. That's a troll. You're going to get kicked out of the group for that. Don't ever say that. I respect Tez, but that's insane.
All right. WrestleMania is your domain there, Chris. WrestleMania 2000. Which McMahon family member was on the side of the Big Show in a fatal 4-way match for the WWE back then in 2000?
Ooh, I want to say Shane.
That is correct. Shane McMahon is absolutely correct. Let's see here. What's another one I want to do?
No answers in the chat.
What?
No answers in the chat.
Yeah, no answers in the chat, guys. Don't do that. All right, we'll go to No Mercy 2007. Aaron Turner, Dave Batista. Who did Dave Batista beat for the World Heavyweight Championship in a Punjabi prison match?
Great Khali.
There it is. Nice. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. What started, Chris Burns, what started the WWE Alliance conflict in 2001?
That would be Lance Storm invading. I think it was Raw.
Ooh.
ECW originals, yeah.
That's not the answer I have. The answer I have is Shane and Stephanie buying WCW and ECW and then forming the Alliance.
Oh, all right.
Fine.
Yes, sure. I thought you meant because they bought the company. There was the last Nitro. I'm going to get extra credit here. There's the last Nitro where Vince McMahon shows up saying that he's purchased the company. Shane shows up at the end saying that she had defeated, that Shane had bought it from underneath Vince. Right. And then later on, The ECW shares have been bought by Steph. That formed the alliance, absolutely. But the conflict began when Lance Storm showed up, for sure.
All right,
as it always does.
Yeah, always the Canadians.
All right, Jeff Jarrett's one of your favorites, Aaron Turner. How many times did Jeff Jarrett win the Intercontinental title?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with twice.
6 times.
6?
6 times.
I forgot he had a run with the skinny belt. I forgot. Yeah. And I fucking hate Jeff Jarrett.
Here's a tough one for you, Chris. What year did Goldust make his debut? What year?
1995.
God damn! How the fuck do you know?
Yeah, 95, man.
Jesus Christ. Let's see here. What's another one? Listen, I'm gonna put this one out to both of you. Whoever gets closest will win this one. How long did Fabulous Moolah's supremacy last? How many days did her supremacy last as the women's champion?
Wasn't it like, hold on. Wasn't it like,
I feel like it was like several years.
Yeah, wasn't it like
it was several years, so
wasn't it like 42 years or something?
What days? I said days.
Oh, days. 5,000? I don't know.
I need a calculator.
1,500 days. Final answer.
Okay.
I'm going to go 1,501 days.
Oh, the old Francis Wright trick.
Crafty son of a bitch. 10,170 days.
Oh my God.
That's how long she had the belt.
Woo!
I win.
Yeah, you do win.
I hated that one.
I did too. I hated that question so much.
Chris Burns, since you're a student of the business, and especially WrestleMania, who was the winner of the first ever WrestleMania match in 1985?
Whoa.
I went on a thing about this recently. I know this is wrong, but I'm going to say Tito Santana.
That is right. That is
Arriba!
Oh my God. Oh my God. The boy surprises himself. Let's go.
That's incredible. Maybe an easy one for you, Aaron Turner. I don't know. The party foul is which wrestler's signature move?
The what?
The party foul. Foul.
Oh, Adam Rose.
Boom. Good job. Good job.
Leo Kruger, much better character.
Chris Burns, the anagram APA was used by Bradshaw and Ron Simmons, formerly Farouk. What does it stand for? APA.
The Acolyte Protection Agency.
Oh, we'd like to take that as the answer, but it's Acolytes Protecting Agency. It's the more active choice. That's what they went with. But fine, I'll give it to you for protection.
I'm about to say, I've been doing magic in this round. I've been pulling magic out of the air.
Oh, hold on. Mama's calling. I can't pick up the phone.
Oh, that's his phone a friend.
Yeah, for real.
Aaron Turner, who was the oldest WWE champion ever?
The oldest WWE champion.
Kind of a trick question.
I know the youngest was, but who was the oldest? Man. Wait, how new, how updated is this trivia list? Because
this is 2021.
Oh. Oldest WWF champion. Well, it's gotta be Hogan, right?
Vince McMahon.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's right.
I told you it was a trick question.
Yes,
I told you.
That's right. No, you're right.
This is good. This is
correct.
good stuff.
That is a correct answer.
I don't even think about that one. I think
he abdicated the belt immediately after, but
because he knew it was a fucking terrible idea.
Oh gosh,
He's also the oldest DCW champion of all time.
That's true.
That's right.
Do-rag Vince.
Let's see. Oh, wait, this is a good one for Chris. Chris, what are the Undertaker's 4 main finishers called?
Oh my God.
The Tombstone.
Yes.
Yep.
Hell's Gate.
Yep.
Last Ride.
Yep.
Okay.
Finishers. You don't really finish people with the choke slam, but I'll go choke slam.
Okay.
That's 4.
That's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, is there 5?
There's 4, but they didn't have Hell's Gate on the list here. It says triangle choke.
That's the same thing.
That's Hell's Gate. That's Hell's Gate.
Okay.
Well, yes and no, because Hell's Gate is not actually a triangle choke. It's a go-go plata. It's a different kind of choke, but whatever. Yeah, sure.
I'm breaking the question.
No,
That's
I'm not mad
how
at
much about this I know.
I'm
breaking
mad at you. I'm mad at the question.
question.
I'm bad at the answer, not the question.
Aaron Turner, in the first 20 WrestleManias, who were the only 2 combatants in a cage match at that point in the history of WrestleMania?
From 1 through 20?
Yes.
It would have been Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy.
That's right.
Nicely done.
WrestleMania 2.
Yes, it was. That was the last time my father watched wrestling with me because he was
wow.
sickened by the match. He was sickened by the match. My dad did not have stomach for blood in the WWE and blood and steel cage and all of that. So, Chris Burns, Apollo Crews was trained by which former WWE superstar?
Apollo Crews. Ooh, that's too modern. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say Dr. Tom Pritchard. That is not right.
Oh,
but it's
no, Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes.
Interesting.
Damn, he's way better than Mr. Hughes.
I'm about to say, who could Curtis Hughes teach anyone anything?
For some reason in my head, I was like Devon Dudley, but I don't know. I just thought it might have been Devon.
One last one because we got to wrap up. We're at the 11 o'clock hour.
Well, him and Bubba have a thing, but he does it more than Bubba.
Oh, fair enough. Aaron, what color was Shawn Michaels' outfit in his popular tournament against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25? What color was his
color? WrestleMania 25. Was it all? It was all white, right?
White and gold. White and gold. So close. So close, my man. All right, I think that's it because we got 11 o'clock. We got to get the hell on out of here. Both of you, what year did Ric Flair retire, quote unquote, from the WWE? What year was that?
2022. What did he retire? So I guess it would have been WrestleMania 27. So I guess 2012.
What the fuck year was that? That was no. That was 24, right?
2008. 2008 is when he retired from the WWE. There you go. All right, let's get on out of here. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Strong Style Live. We had so much fun talking about everything going on in the world of professional wrestling, especially with these two awesome brothers in wrestling that I have here with Aaron Turner and Chris Burns. Aaron, where can people find you, man? Everything you got going on?
Find me on Twitter at only Aaron Turner. Find us on TikTok at strong_style_live. Big shout out to everybody that's been checking that out. Over 200,000 views just this past week.
That's awesome.
On videos we put out. So very cool. Thank you guys so much for that. And see you soon.
That's awesome. Thank you, Aaron. And Chris Burns, where can they find you, brother man?
Probably digging through vats and vats of shirts to pull out my gold dust to why I know that he debuted in 1995. Insane. Chris_please on all the social media things. Keep up with me. Say hi.
There you go. I couldn't have answered a quarter of those questions. If as me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. Remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. Also, I just dropped my intro to Giancarlo Esposito when I gave him his the HCA TV Icon Award. So if you want to watch that, it's up on the channel now. I should have a review for the last Sandman episode that dropped yesterday coming up later on the channel today or sometime tomorrow morning. So look for that as well. And what else? And all the and don't forget to subscribe to the Strong Style Podcast wherever you download podcasts. Subscribe, and as Chris said there, leave the reviews, leave the 5-star review, leave the rating there, give it some love for God's sakes, because we appreciate y'all. And look for the announcements of when this show will be going to its own YouTube channel and extra content coming as well there and on the podcast platform. All right, you guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Strong Style.